It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Fighting through it, Chris. Great taste. Just 96 calories available for delivery. Dan, we wait for it every year. And knowing you the way I do, I think you'll agree it's a top 5 week on the sports calendar. A week where all the so-called experts will gather in Detroit to tell you everything they know about Joe Alt. Plug and play, great wingspan, a motor that never stops, Mel Kiper Jr., smoke screens, and Dan. Just like that. Make no mistake about it. Draft week is back. Motor City. Ish.
Joe Alt is phenomenal, by the way.
If you say so. Plug and play?
Oh, yeah.
Motor City is where they should hold something like this, given how often someone's going to say he's got a motor that doesn't stop.
Dan, you know what time it is in Milwaukee?
Dame time.
Wow, you're on it for Monday. Pretty good. Dan, the Knickerbockers. You know what the H in Jason Hart stands for?
Hustle.
It stands for Hearts.
It's Josh.
Oh, Josh Hart.
Called him Jason.
I just started watching. That McBride kid is good. Mitchell Robinson, 4 blocks. The blockness monster.
How do you get Josh Hart's name wrong on your team?
Jason,
Was it because Jason Bateman was at the game?
I think so.
Oh, well, this is annoying, right? The celebrities coming out here, Bateman looking like a werewolf, like the New York celebrities coming out here. This part I can do without.
Sorry they had fans in the stands at their playoff game.
While everyone argued whether or not the Knicks should or shouldn't get the number 2 seed, you know what Tom Thibodeau was doing?
I do not.
Getting his team ready to play. Tibbs. The home teams.
Getting Maxey sick. Maxey's doubtful because he's sick. Embiid's hurt and
It's
Maxey's
all happening,
sick.
Dan.
Yes, it's happening.
I mean, Jason Hart. The home teams went 14-0 this weekend in the NBA and the NHL. Hey, playoffs. We're waiting. Let's go. How about we start a series? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Do it against the Nuggets. SGA.
He's not playing the Nuggets yet.
Well, I mean, get there and then do it against them.
Okay.
I mean, eke out a victory against an 8 seed with no Zion Williamson.
Stop singing in commercials. That makes me want to throw my TV out of the window.
I like that commercial.
Terrible.
Jeremy Taché tweeting, quote, Tyler Hero is going to do the thing this postseason. I could feel it in my bones, unquote. If the thing is being a mess on both ends of the court, then he's most definitely doing the thing.
The praise is pouring in for Jeremy Taché. Somebody writes in, I'm a lifelong Heat fan, and Jeremy makes me hate being one. Someone else writes in, I've always hated the Heat, and Jeremy makes me feel proud of that fact.
The golfer that always has to play one last hole, even if it means putting his headlights on his golf cart on so he can see the ball. Do me a favor. Get a life and call it a day. Go home.
Aren't you that guy?
Yes. I was playing with that guy last week, and that guy said, hey, stick around. I said, I want to go home. It's dinner time. He said, no, stick around. I said, why? He said, I need your headlights. Come on.
Headlights on a golf cart, huh?
Yeah.
2 Americas.
Anthony Edwards, 33 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Dan, you know what the A in Ant Edwards stands for? Arrived.
Awesome. Okay. But what about do it against Denver? No, he doesn't have to do it against Denver?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, but because he's not also playing Denver the same way that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Just Shai, yeah.
Okay.
Unimpressive victory for Shai.
All right.
Just saying. Minnesota, impressive victory.
Agreed.
Durant, Booker, Bradley Beal. Beal. Jesus. What a waste. It's not good.
Okay.
That's all I have for it.
Bradley Beal is not good.
He's okay. Not the real deal. Tough day for Heat fans. Tough weekend for Heat fans. Having to watch Tyler Hero do that and Dame Lillard do that. What could have been? Salvador Perez doesn't see black and orange when he plays the Orioles. He just sees red. Salvi. Man United. Survive and advance. Man U. Houston Astros. 9 games under 500. Dusty Baker. Hot seat?
Wait a second.
What?
Dusty's not
He's
still
not
there.
their manager.
He's not. Wow. That explains everything. Bring him back? Who is the Astros manager?
You asked too many questions.
You don't like the follow-up? Dan?
It's one of the first things that left in terms of sports knowledge when I started clearing out baseball managers.
And numbers,
Who's
jersey
the
numbers.
most famous Astros fan, Dan?
I got to look it up for you
Guy
here, Justin.
Fieri.
Oh, no, that's a good one.
I made that up.
DeAndre Jordan is a Nugget.
The most famous Astros fan is Travis Scott.
Astro World.
Congratulations to Father Time for getting its first victory over LeBron James in the fourth quarter against Denver. First victory. The Bruins have beat the Maple Leafs all 5 times they played them this year. You, of course, know what the Bruins have, right, Dan?
Their number?
Yep, the Leafs numbers. They do. Proud of you, man. There's nothing like Madison Square Garden in the playoffs. The Mecca. Shohei Ohtani now having the most home runs by any Japanese-born player in the Major League Baseball history, passing Hideki Matsui, Godzilla. I only put that in there to say Godzilla. To my Jewish friends, Tariq Cohen, Anthony Schwartz, and of course, A.J. Dillon, I wish you a happy Passover, Pesach, the Festival of Lights, Quadzilla. If you're wondering if Jackson Holiday has done it in the majors yet, he hasn't. 1 for 30. Overrated. The guy who takes his shoes off on the airplane. Just go fuck yourself. It's not your house. It's not my house. It's not your house. It's not anyone's house. Keep your shoes on.
I'm cramping. I'm laughing too hard. Slow down, Stu.
Sorry. Matthew Tkachuk with a goal and an assist. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Classic Chucky. What Drew Holiday doesn't always show up in the box scores. Top 5 NBA players who what they do doesn't always show up in the box score.
You certainly aren't going to pick 5 current players. You're going to take 5 players for all time, right?
Yes. Number 5, Eric Snow. I mean, nothing showed up in his box score but wins.
Not really.
They went to the finals with Eric Snow.
That's right.
He's not wrong.
He played a whole lot of other years where they didn't make it to the finals.
That's a good point. Patrick Beverly. Pat Bev. Thank you. That was number 4. Number 3, George Hill. What's that face, Izzy?
I mean, it's a good list so far.
All right.
Is anybody still playing?
Number 2, Shane Battier.
That's the one I knew was going to be on the list, Dan. You knew that one was going to be on there.
And number 1, Bobby Portis.
That man shows up all over the box score. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but sometimes he doesn't.
Touche.
Thank you. Here come the Phillies. Mookie Betts being in the top 5 of the National League for average, hits, and RBIs. The M in Mookie Betts stands for MVP. He's so good. They're so good. They're 13-11. They should be ashamed of themselves. A team that is that good, where Betts might be their second or third best player, even though he's going to win the MVP, they should be better. 13-11.
Braves lineup is still better than theirs.
The Dallas Mavericks missed 18 of 20 shots in the second quarter. You know what they say, right, Dano? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And apparently, 90% of the shots you do take.
Did you get that one, Dan?
Yeah.
Stash this away in the Something to Ponder file. Are the Bucks better without Giannis?
Oh, come on.
No need
Where's
to
the
discuss
file?
now. Just stash it away for a rainy day. What do you mean, oh, come on? Headline. Dan Patrick reveals interest from potential successors for his show. Dan, let's talk. DP. Ice. Underrated thing.
Put it on the poll, Juju at Le Batard Show. Is ice underrated?
Have a drink with ice and then have one without ice and tell me it's not underrated. The things you do while driving around the Midwest on a gummy in the passenger seat of a car. Top 5 underrated things. Number 5, Michael Jordan's passing. Number 4, Michael Jordan's work ethic. Number 3, Michael Jordan's defense. Number 2, Michael Jordan's mid-range game.
These are just all of the underrated things in the world?
Yes. Ice and then these things.
Okay.
Number 1, Michael Jordan. Dan, the Metropolitans.
Michael Jordan is underrated.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Okay.
He won a NASCAR race this weekend.
I mean, he's underrated. You don't think that he is?
No.
I think that proves it.
Congratulations to the Rams, who for the first time since 2016 have a first-round pick. That's nuts.
They were all in. We made a big deal. They were all in. They won the championship. They were all in, remember?
The C in Caleb Martin stands for Code Red. Scotty Scheffler, do me a favor. Save some wins for everyone else. He's made something that is very, very difficult look easy, and I can't stand it. Another thought I had driving around the Midwest on a gummy in the passenger seat. How is John Franco not in the Hall of Fame? Most saves by a lefty in Major League Baseball history, 4-time All-Star, a sub-3 ERA. I will not rest until John Franco is in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And by not resting, I mean talking about it today and forgetting about it tomorrow.
You were not going to rest if Dwayne Wade left the Miami Heat and played for anyone else until you blocked all of his abilities to
Must
get
be
a
so tired.
statue
Yeah.
outside of the arena, and you immediately forgot about it.
Do
as
you
soon
see
as
it up
you
yet?
said
I
it.
mean,
the idea
I
that
work behind the scenes, Dano.
all you do is rest.
I need some rest. Franco's would be a great name for a pizzeria. Death, taxes, and Joel Embiid being questionable in a game where the 76ers really need him. Knick fans chanting, "We want Boston" at the end of Game 1 is peak Knicks fan and why everybody hates us. We're on to Boston already.
Weren't they still yelling "Bleep Trey Young" as well? Weren't they also
they
doing
were.
that? Wasn't there a "Bleep Trey Young" chant that made an appearance? Jason Bateman looks like that because of a role, right? He's doing a role. That's
Or he's just showing off that he can grow the hair because all of his friends are getting old too.
Hey, people, making mock drafts, stop putting hypothetical trades in. You're confusing everybody.
Bill Barnwell put out the
Jesus.
all-trade first-round draft.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
You do?
I love it.
No.
The Giants trading up for McCarthy, though, Stu? What about it?
How about I trade you a 5th, and you give me you shuffling off to hell. Speaking of hell,
wow.
Art Briles, Dan, those are the weekend observations.